Director of the Academy, Sri Srinivas R. Katikathala and Mrs. Bindu Katakithala are among us now. We welcome you, sir and ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, you are requested to remain standing for the Academy song.
वीर हौ कर्म ते वीर हौ उन्नत शील नहीं भय रहो धर्म में वीर रहो कर्म में वीर रहो उन्नत शील डरो ना भूली है लगे ज्ञान हौ सबे अगुवान सबे अच्छे भगवान हवे जय वहाँ धर्म ते वीर वहाँ कर्मिक वीर सेवा उन्नत शील नहीं भय रहो धर्म मधीर रहो कर्म मधीर रहो उन्नत शील डरो ना नाना परिधान विविधे मजद कुमिलन महान देखिया भारत महाजाति उत्थान जग जन मानि विस्मय जग जन मानि विस्मय उल्लते लौटिया सेल्वीर गुडंतल जिबरिंद गिर पायनी धर्म क्रोध विरवै कर्म क्रोध विरवै तले तुक्कु गतरा बचू धर्म तिल धीर नाई कर्म तिल वीर नाई उन्नता शिष नाई जिबनाई नाना भाषा नाना मत नाना परिधान विविधे मार्गे कुमिलन महान देखिया भारत महाजाति उत्थान जग जन मानि विस्मय जग जन मानि विस्मय रहो धर्म से वीर रहो कर्म से वीर रहो उच्चासीर डरो ना हो धर्म से वीर हो कर्म से वीर रहो उन्नत हीर भय ना हो उन्नत शील भय हो उन्नत शील नहीं भय
Kindly take your seats. Namaskar, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you all. The month of December always brings colder weather and sometimes even snow here in Mussoorie, but it is perhaps the first time that it brings with it a fresh batch of foundation course at the Academy. And after a few days of rain and clouds, the weather has also happily cleared up enough for us to be able to assemble here in the beautiful open grounds with a breathtaking view of the Himalayas. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inaugural function of the 96th Foundation course for the newly recruited officers of All India Services and other Central Civil Services Group A, including the Royal Bhutan Civil Services. With 488 participants, this foundation course is one of the largest courses we have held on this campus. This course has the welcome distinction of having one of the higher levels of women's participation, with women constituting 32.2%, that is close to 1/3 of the strength of the batch. 14 persons with disabilities are joining us for this foundation course. This year, a dedicated nodal officer, Mr. Nitesh Jha, who is also the associate course coordinator, has been assigned for enabling effective access for these officer trainees. Taking off masks while speaking here is also being done to allow lip reading by persons with hearing impairment. 11 officer trainees from the 3 services of the Royal Bhutan Civil Services are joining us for this foundation course. For today's inaugural function, we have amongst us Sri Srinivas R. Katikithala, Director Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, who, in the brief period since he has taken over the stewardship of the Academy, has not only shown us a new vision of reinventing and challenging ourselves to achieve higher standards for the Academy, but has also had us believing in that vision. The director has led from the front in the designing of this first of its kind foundation course with a structure, content, and pedagogy unlike others, but with an ever focused commitment to the Academy's vision and mission as a premier training institution. Sir is no guest to the Academy, yet it is a pleasure and privilege to have you, sir, as our esteemed chief guest for today's function. An alumnus of Cambridge Judge Business School, Sanford School of Public Policy, Duke University, Weldon Cooper Center for Public Service, University of Virginia, Kakatiya University, University of Hyderabad, Gulbarga University, and Madras Christian College. Sri Srinivas R. Katikithala is a senior officer of the Indian Administrative Service from the 1989 batch Gujarat cadre. In his extensive and distinguished career spanning 31 years at both state and Government of India level, Sir has provided leadership not only in program implementation and public policy, but also in new legislation and legislative reform and in building public infrastructure. Sir has successfully implemented several large scale innovative projects, including Statue of Unity, the world's tallest statue, Gift City, Gujarat, and the award winning Gujarat Earthquake Rehabilitation Program that rebuilt 14 earthquake struck cities during the years 2004 to 2007. He is the architect of Mission Karm Yogi, Government of India's flagship civil service capacity building program. Sri Srinivas Katikithala hails from an eminent legal family and he is a trained lawyer himself with abiding interest in laws and legislation. He has piloted a score of path breaking legislations at the state and federal levels. He has also authored a book, History of Land Revenue Administration in Gujarat, which is a detailed account of the land revenue administration in the Gujarat region as it evolved over 600 years from 1407 AD to 2017 AD, and he has published several papers as well. Before taking over as director of this academy, Sri Srinivas R. Katikithala was serving as the establishment officer and secretary to the appointments committee of the Union Cabinet, Government of India in his previous assignment. Apart from professional and academic excellence, his multifaceted personality is reflected by his deep involvement in Indian classical music and fine arts, and his abiding interest in architecture, photography, ethnography, comparative religions, and understanding global cultures through travel. Our officer trainees, like the rest of us, will enjoy conversations with Sir, where his knowledge in these different areas will be enriching, and at the same time, his enthusiasm to keep learning more will be inspiring. And dear officer trainees, the bar has already been raised by Director Sir's physical fitness and stamina in horse riding, trekking, and other outdoor skills. And this is naming just a few. A very warm welcome to you, sir. A warm welcome also to Mrs. Radhika Rastogi, Joint Director of the Academy. Ma'am is an IAS officer of 1995 batch Maharashtra cadre. Prior to joining the Academy in her current assignment, she was the Deputy Director General at the National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, Hyderabad. In her career spanning 26 years, she held a variety of assignments, including Collector and District Magistrate, Director Power in the Department of Atomic Energy, Secretary MSME, and Secretary Accounts and Treasuries. She has learned Odissi classical dance and has an eclectic taste in music. Not only has ma'am's warmth and support been a morale booster for the course team, but she has also curated the module on public policy for this foundation course, along with the code on Shishtachar. The joint director has also added 5 languages to the academy song and has made it more reflective of India's proud and pluralistic linguistic heritage. Welcome, ma'am. I also extend a warm welcome to Mrs. Bindu Katikithala, whose erudite personality and poise leave an impact in every interaction. Welcome also to the distinguished guests of the Academy. A gracious welcome to the course team, ably led by Ms. Monica Dhami, the course coordinator, and the associate course coordinators, Professor Sunita Rani, Dr. Milind Ramteke, Professor Hari Prakash, Mr. Nitesh Jha, and Mr. Abhiram G. Sankar. I also welcome the members of the faculty, including the language faculty and the ICT team under Mr. Taneja. And finally, those for whom all of us have come together today, our 488 officer trainees from across 19 services, including the 3 Royal Bhutan Civil Services, who bring their vigor, enthusiasm, and zeal to this course to make it truly engaging, immersive, and impactful. A hearty welcome to each one of you. We hope that you will have a joyful and memorable stay with us and will make the most of the learnings and experiences offered during this course. I now invite Ms. Monica Dhami, the course coordinator of the 96th FC, to give the course overview.
Thank you, Anupam. Respected Director of the Academy, Shri Srinivas R. Katikitala, Joint Director Shrimati Radhika Rastogi, First Lady of the Academy, Shrimati Bindu Srinivas, my course team members, faculty members, and all the officer trainees of the 96th Foundation course. We have all gathered here to celebrate and mark the initiation of your entry into the portals of government, a life of commitment and service to the people of India. Let us begin with the venerated Indian tradition of saluting our gurus. Guru Govind do khade, काके लागू पाए बलिहारी गुरु आपने गोविंद दियो बताएं. For those of you who need a translation between God and Guru, even the divine tells us to pay obeisance to our gurus. Let us begin this memorable day by remembering the teachings and blessings of our gurus. They be our teachers, professors, parents, mentors, or civil servants who have played a key role in your surpassing one of the most competitive exams in the world. I am extremely honored and humbled by this opportunity given to me by the director of the Academy to be the course coordinator of this 96 Foundation course in the 75th year of our independence. While Anupam has already mentioned our director's illustrious career, I would like to exhort each of you in these 15 weeks to try and match the director's energy, wisdom, wit, humor, passion for excellence, commitment to service, and not the least, his sartorial sense. It's a tall order, even if you have attempted any of these. Our joint director, Shrimati Radhika Rastogi, with a charming demeanor and the balanced insights that come from meaningful years in public service, is the key architect of Shishtachar. Your manual on code of conduct has been revived after many years, and what Madam has laid out is the combination of self regulated freedom and discipline you are expected to rise up to. Madam Srinivas, your presence today reminds us of the grace and elegance that is reflective of equal and nurturing partnerships in life. Welcome, ma'am. My members of the course team, Sunita, Milind, Hari Prakash, Nitesh, Abhiram, and Anupam, and my other faculty colleagues at the Academy. I must share with you something which is unique and yet common to all faculty here is that unlike other government postings which are interested to you, this tenure at the Academy has been consciously chosen by each of us. And when we all choose our work, we bring passion, diligence, and that little extra which goes a long way in establishing the Academy as the apex and the most premier training institute in the country. Close to us, core faculty members, led by the director, constituted the constituent assembly of this foundation course. Though I would like to add that the course design largely bears the imprint of the vision laid by the director. This has already been elaborated by Anupam. Every batch that goes through the portals of the academy imagines itself to be different and better than the rest. My batch still does, and I'm sure yours too will carry that cross. However, there are some extra circumstantial factors that make this foundation course a pioneering initiative in more ways than one. Your batch is fortunate to be the cohort that enters the service of our motherland in the 75th year of our independence. It is also the first batch to be a part of a winter foundation course for the first time in the history of the academy. 95 iterations before you missed the winter season in Missouri. Yes, besides major changes in pedagogy, course module, a key area of focus is the emphasis on fitness and outdoor for your foundation course. 5 out of 10 weeks have been planned outside the academy to give you a truly immersive experience. We have all presented this in the course design earlier. And you might wonder, what I've shared with you so far might not still answer the question, what is the 96 Foundation course? Is it a rite of passage or a mere gathering of diverse and intelligent minds entrusted with a common curriculum, a common journey, or an elaborate patchwork of different modules delivered over 15 weeks? What is it? The answer is somewhere implicit in the whole being more than a sum of its parts. Like the 10 commandments, I too have listed 10 cardinal features of the foundation course, part generic and part specific to this one. First, the foundation course represents the idea of India, in coming together of civil servants drawn from 16 different services, different regions and linguistic groups, different and disparate communities. The foundation course is as diverse as our country, and in that sense represents a microcosm of India and its diversity. Each module, each exercise, each activity, right from the 12 tutorial groups that you are now sitting in to your hostel allotment, is in fact a celebration of this diversity. This year, the course design, more than hitherto, amalgamates in its design cultural performances drawn from our inherited traditions and shared heritage. Second, the foundation course represents a unique blend of the old and the new. We have talked of how it makes a significant departure in its pedagogy, modules, fitness, and outdoors. However, it still retains salient elements of continuity since the first common foundation course that began on 13th July 1959 at Missouri. And what are those features that still count for as old as gold? Go with Vallabh Pant's insistence that village visit be incorporated for a rural orientation is as much a part of common foundation course then as it is now. The life transforming Himalayan trek. The coinage of the term KTP, keen type probationer, that has been dutifully handed over generations. The practice of Shramdan, the famous horse riding module in which the animal is held superior to the probationer. And in case of any mishap, stories tell us the version of the horse was always accepted. Above all, the mess food. The mess food continues to cater to all geographical taste, is simple, uniformly tasteless, and frivolously expensive. Yes, sir. Director says insistence that each of you hone a skill or pursue a hobby, be that art, music, or sports, or reading, largely echoes the only advice that our first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, gave to the civil servants when they visited him at his August office. So you can see the threads of continuity. Third, the foundation course is about learning and knowledge, not the knowledge of ABC, knowledge that liberates. Ya vidya ta vimukte. It's about discovering your own roots while you nurture your wings to fly. The distinction between the learner and the learned is not sharp here in the adult learning pedagogy that we deploy. Both the preceptor and the disciple embark on this journey together to discover the true meaning of service, both in the narrow sense of working in the government to the larger sense of working for the people. Fourth, the foundation course is about fitness, health, and the pursuit of the outdoors. It is during your outdoor regime here that you will realize that sports is also about mindfulness. The Descartesian dualism has no presence in our tradition where yoga symbolizes the union of body and the mind. In the 96 Foundation course, we reinforce this idea by exposing you all to a variety of genres, whether it be unarmed combat, Zumba, yoga, PT, aerobics, treks, and they all have fitness and strength as the common goal. Fifth, the foundation course is about the spirit of adventure, how that spirit is ignited and fostered here. Many of us carry that spirit of adventure latently in our souls, but it is only in the challenges and opportunities presented by the foundation course that this finds an outlet of expression. In rafting through the rapids, in the steep climbs and the deep dives of adventure sports, in the dark frozen recesses of Himalayan trek, many of you will experience an adrenal rush you have not experienced earlier. We believe that qualities of endurance, perseverance, grit, and courage are nurtured in these open areas of hills, valleys, and forests rather than closed rooms. Sixth, the foundation course is about Missouri and its infinite abundance. The walk on the Mall Road, the coffee at Kulri, the picnic at Kempty, the chocolate pudding at Landor, the one and only winter line to behold, savor and enjoy, the chestnut leaves, देवदार के वो अनगिनत पेड़, the mountain chill, the stinging nettle, and this year, the added charm of snowflakes. I can assure you that even if you come to Missouri later for your honeymoon, you will still remember it for the foundation course. The magic of Charville is really enhanced by the locale, the setting of the academy in Missouri, the queen of hills in the lap of Himalayas. This makes the foundation course cast an indelible imprint on each trainee that enters this hallowed academy. Seventh, the foundation course is about spirit de corps, the warmth and camaraderie across services. Officers and individuals is the raison d'etre and nurturing value of the foundation course. When you all dine, deliberate, dance, and collaborate together, the magic of Charville begins to unfold. The breaking down of all silos, as our Honorable Prime Minister puts it, invariably happens. Eighth, the foundation course is about self discovery or swadhyay. It is your first Karam Bhumi as you enter the government, and in that sense marks a significant rite of passage. You will learn to work in teams, collaborate with academy staff and faculty, learn to dress, dine, present, and communicate yourself. In a much deeper sense, it will be learning to think how to put people first in your every act of doing. Your work, your office spaces, the expenditure you sanction and incur, the policy you make and implement, and in every little detail of governance, it has to be people first, not once, but always. Foundation course is also about relationships and memories. Most of you, or rather all of you, will form bonds of love and friendship with your colleagues that will last a lifetime and beyond. Many such bonds may result in marriages or unrequited love, but bonds they would still be. You'll still remember, even if you don't get somebody to reciprocate your love. The foundation course is, in a way, a beginning of your second family. And 20 years later, I can still tell you, I can walk into any city where my batchmates reside and still feel at home. That is the magic of the foundation course. Ties of loyalty and belongingness will bind you across the nation and the globe. And trust me, at the end of 15 weeks, when you leave the academy, you will leave a part of yourself here, and yet a part of the academy shall always travel with you. Above all, and this is the 10th point, like Aristotelian wisdom, the foundation course is about values. We strongly believe virtue is a matter of habit, and each of the disciplines that we endeavor to teach here is more about values rather than domain knowledge. The deconstruction module is premised on values of inclusion, empathy, and sensitivity to remain connected to our roots so that we never lose sight of our larger goals. Natural justice, a cardinal principle of jurisprudence, is what the law module will repeatedly enforce. Each and every individual in every conceivable setting has a right to be heard, and then only can we hope to deliver the ends of justice. How to use the resources at your disposal in an efficient and judicious manner is what will be discussed in the economics module. While the leadership classes as a part of management module will help you realize your own potential and make you learn to lead. Alongside, functional skills in ICT would be delivered by our computer faculty, and the thread that binds all these modules together are the communication classes delivered by best experts from across the globe. And like the rivers that flow into the mighty ocean, the values, beliefs, and principles underlying our academic modules, the activities of clubs and societies, immersive, experiential, and outdoor activities feed into the motto of the academy, Shilam Param Bhushanam, or character is the supreme ornament or the embellishment. Shilam Param Bhushanam. May your path be blessed with this spirit. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for beautifully outlining the structure of the FC through the 10 cardinal pillars. She has not only been instrumental in reviving the Shishtachar code and setting it in the current context, but she also showcases in her daily conduct how one can strive to live up to that standard irrespective of their seniority in service. I invite Ms. Radhika Rastogi, Joint Director of the Academy, to kindly deliver her address.
Honorable Director Shri Srinivas Katikitala, Madam Katikitala, Course Coordinator Srimati Monica Dami, the Associate Course Coordinators, members of the faculty, esteemed guests, and dear officer trainees. Namaste and good afternoon. How are we feeling today? Physically fit? I can't hear you. Mentally alert? Spiritually high? Well, these were the questions that our teacher, law teacher, used to ask us every day at the beginning of every class. And we also answered the way you did. And if we were not loud enough, he would ask us to repeat. So I never understood back then as to why he would ask and repeat the same question each time. It took me almost 20 years to realize that in the final analysis, it is these traits that are important. This is the essence of our life. If we can keep ourselves physically fit, mentally alert, and also work on our spirituality a little bit, then I think we can achieve all that we set out to do. And today, when I see all your bright faces, I also remember the time when I sat like you in the inaugural function. Welcome to the most exciting and interesting journey of your life. Yesterday and today, you took part in a deconstruction exercise regarding rural development and livelihoods, where you made an effort to delve deep inside you. And this training is structured in a way, as elaborated by Monica, to help you to listen deeply to yourself and to others. Because for us to succeed, we need to co opt others' efforts, we need to co sense, and we need to co create. So, you have also heard excerpts from the Honorable Prime Minister's address to the officer trainees in 2017. He said that the civil services is not a career but a mission and lends purpose to our lives. It is a great opportunity and a privilege to be able to touch the lives of our countrymen and women and change it for better. It's always the little things that matter: touring, night halls, maintaining and updating records,
And always, when you make a decision, weigh it against the impact it will have on the most poor, weak, and vulnerable. Is it going to improve their lot or not? Or will it harm? If it improves, then please go ahead with it. We must always be aware of the innumerable people who touch our lives, the farmers who put food on our plates, tasty or otherwise. It's up to us. You will manage your mess committees and you can choose your menu. The women who make the threads and color them so that the weavers can weave the rich fabric that we all wear, and all those who served us with a smile. Can we be sensitive and acknowledge their contribution? You're not properly dressed unless you're clothed in good character, and that is the motto of the academy. Sheelam Param Bhushanam. And also, as the Honorable Prime Minister emphasized, we represent the fourth lion and the national emblem. And we need to uphold that principle of anonymity. And let us not value ourselves or our worth in the number of likes that we get on a Facebook or a Twitter or Snapchat. The training that our director and the course team designed for you is unique because it's largely experiential, reflective, and aimed at building character. The emphasis is on peer to peer learning. Our friends from the Royal Bhutan Service can help us to learn how to make our country carbon negative. How do we ensure that our citizens are happy? We are happy. The training is designed to keep you physically active, stimulate your mental faculties, and nurture your souls. We have a bouquet of cultural programs and activities lined up for you, and these are all based on fine arts, and these are fine arts for a reason. Their impact can be experienced and felt, and only at a very deep level. I would like to tell you a story about a bodybuilder. Now, this bodybuilding is a very masculine kind of a pursuit, but he took up dancing, ballet. And there was this diminutive ballet dancer, Marianne Claire, who trained him so that he can put forth his body and get into the various poses and transition from one pose to another in a manner that displays his muscles in the best possible fashion. And he went on to earn the title of Mr. Olympia 7 times and Mr. Universe 5 times. Do you know who I'm talking about? Yes, it's the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. See, the arts will come to your aid in ways that you cannot even imagine. So please receive the artists and their performance in that spirit. There's a Hallyu wave that is sweeping the world and also my home. It started with Gangnam Style and graduated into BTS and Red Velvet. Not the cake, but the K pop group. Many of you may be fans also. Look at the way that a small country is using its soft power to enter every home in the world, not just India. We have a very rich cultural heritage of various art forms, music, dance, architecture. Can we actually showcase them? Because these arts will open many more doors than any other diplomatic missions. So let us understand our rich culture and heritage and also learn how to harness it to enter people's hearts and people's homes. You are the cool generation, right? You're always on some gadget or the other. You don't want to talk one on one, but you will send WhatsApp messages with lots of emojis, right? You give a thumbs up, you point to something, or you say it's good. Well, these emojis are not new. These were codified way back in the Natya Shastra by Bharata Muni in 500 BC. So this is called a Hansasya when you say it's good. This is called a Shikara. This is a Mushti. This is a Pataka. We wave at people. So these are, are again coming back to us in a different manner. It's old wine in a new bottle. So let us truly understand and appreciate the various art forms. Let us unplug from our gadgets, the cell phones, laptops, and connect to those around us. I see many of you walking glued into your cell phones and not enjoying this beautiful weather and the beautiful, pristine surroundings. Let us connect to people, to our colleagues, the people that we are to serve. The biggest gift that we can give anyone is our time and attention. Make friends. बच्चे वसीयत पूछते हैं, रिश्ते हैसियत पूछते हैं, वो दोस्त ही है जो आपके खैरियत पूछते हैं. It's your friends that come to your aid in times of need and not your gadgets. To be an effective officer, you need to be a student all your life and update your knowledge. Vidvatvamcha nrupatvamcha nayeva tulyam kadachana. Swadeshe pujyate raja. Vidwan sarvatra pujyate. A king is respected only in his kingdom, but a learned man is respected everywhere. So let us be a lifelong student, and we can realize the ideal of yogaha karmashu kaushalam, excellence in action, only with hard work, sincerity, commitment, and empathy. Let us truly become the steel frame of India. You are the Amrit Mahotsav batch that will play a huge part in shaping India at 100 years. Like Monica said, it's always people first and nation first. We have heard Mr. Popat Pawar, who's with us. There are several others like him, Shyam Sundar Paliwal of Piplantri, who have transformed their villages with people's participation, with their vision, commitment, and zeal. There's a Chutney Devi who has fought, who was a victim of witch branding, and she's fighting this witchcraft. We have a Jadav Payang who has created a forest single-handedly, which many of us forest officers may not be able to emulate also. So there are people who can help us and who can guide us everywhere. Can we use these resources? Can we learn from their experience? Can we join hands with them? In the words of Khalil Gibran, a river trembles when it has to enter the ocean, when it sees the vast ocean. It trembles because of the unknown. But only when it joins the ocean, it realizes that it has become the ocean. So, if we want to amplify our efforts, if we want to be successful, let us join the people of this country. Let us be anonymous, humble, and work with grace and humility. Let us work towards realizing the Honorable Prime Minister's vision for a Swachh Bharat, Samruddha Bharat, Samartha Bharat, Swastha Bharat, and a Shrestha Bharat. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, ma'am. Compassion for the underprivileged, anonymity as a civil servant, strength of character, people first. Ma'am has beautifully underlined the values that make a true civil servant, laying the right foundations for our officer trainees in this inaugural function of the foundation course. The depth and breadth of ideation, discussion, deliberation, and action that has gone into the designing of this course, despite the constraints of time and timing, has been possible due to the sheer will, stamina, and vision of our director. I would request you, sir, to address us, please, and share your message for the young officer trainees and future officers of the Government of India. The director of the academy will also administer the oath of allegiance to the Constitution of India. Sir.
Good afternoon. A warm welcome to all of you, Joint Director of the Academy, Madam Rastogi, Course Coordinator, Monica, the entire course team, my wife, she's from the 54th FC2, my teacher, Madam Kulkarni, our esteemed guests, all my faculty colleagues, all the staff who are here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege to be here, standing before you, meeting all of you face to face. I have written to you when you all joined the academy, and we are face to face now. I'm tremendously happy because it is such a unique honor to be amongst all of you and in this beautiful environment. I wanted to say that I warmly welcome you, but I realized in the shadow of this mountain, it's very difficult to say that. But yes, the warmth of our heart and our feelings are with all of you. You have traveled from all over our country, from Bhutan, every region, every state. You represent different languages, different communities, different faiths, represent different disciplines of study, have participated in different universities, different cultures. Many of you are here with prior work experience and many without. There's enormous diversity here. Yet, while we represent the rich diversity of our country, we are one. We are truly one. We are united in our love of our country, united in our love for public service, united in our cultural heritage, and while we are individually shresht, all of us are excellent. At the academy, we will all transform into one Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat 96th Foundation Group. So this is the journey we're all embarking on. We are only 500, small group, yet we represent the aspirations of billions of our countrymen. We fulfill the blessings of our large families, of our teachers. We have worked hard, made success, dreamed of a career, competed and succeeded in a most difficult examination, and reached the academy. All of us have walked down the road to the polo grounds. This is the very road that Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Patel walked on during the freedom struggle. They were here on this very road. 1929, Sardar Patel was here. Mahatma Gandhi was here. 46, 47, Sardar Patel was here. And this is the road that will take us on our path of public service. We are gathered at a very, very special place. We are gathered at a very special time. We are gathered on a very special day. And we are gathered for a special purpose. We are at a special place, I said. We are in the presence for the first time, as Monica mentioned. This is for the first time that we are having an inaugural function at the polo grounds. Never before in the history of the academy has it happened. And perhaps never before in the history of polo grounds has any function happened during winter. Traditionally, everybody left. But this is an extraordinarily special place. We are in the presence of the mighty Himalayas. That is an extraordinary sight, very rare sight. From here, you will behold the mightiest, the highest mountain ranges of the world. The sacred peaks of the Gangotri group. You will see Chokamba, you will see Bandar Poonch, you will see Swargarohini, you will see perhaps Kedar Dome, you will see the Yamunotri group there. Extraordinary ranges. There are high mountains all over the world, right? But none of them are as venerated as the Himalayas. None of them are as sacred as the Himalayas. What makes the Himalayas sacred? What makes them special? What makes them so worshipped? Because unlike the British, The British used to come to Missouri to either exile their opponents or as an asylum to recover from their injuries. We Indians have always come here to the Himalayas to reinvigorate ourselves spiritually. We have always come here on our journey to excellence. We have come here to find our purpose. We have come here for salvation. And as you behold the Swarga Rohini is always in a bit of a shadow there. You will recall a story from the Mahabharata that this is the mountain that the Pandavas climbed to reach heaven. You will also recall amongst the Pandavas, it was only the most virtuous of them, the most truthful of them, Yudhishthira, who could reach. Others fell along the way. This is another myth, but very, very deep in our subconscious. You will also recall that this is the only place on earth where it is believed that man, in his own human form, can rise to heavens. That is what makes this place special. And as you behold and as you wonder, you will also realize that you are standing at the start of your own journey. You are also beginning your journey to find your purpose. You are beginning your journey towards excellence, your journey on the path of service, and your journey towards heaven. But your heaven is not on Swargarohini. It is amongst the people of India. It is amongst the vast millions that you will serve and in their hearts. And that is where you will find your fulfillment, and that is where you'll find your, your heaven. And recalling the memorable words of the Honorable Prime Minister when he visited LBS, you will find yourself in that invisible color of the tricolor, which is binding all the other three colors together. That is you, the civil service. We are at a special time, I said. India has turned 75. It is you who will serve her well, because when she turns 100 and she'll be at the top of the world again, you would have helped her reach there. She will once again rule the world as she always did throughout the millennia. We read about it all over, barring that small blight of the colonial subjugation. But your journey from here, this place, these were the playing fields of the empire. This is where the colonial masters used to come to play. From here, you start the journey to reclaim, to reoccupy, to again claim back what rightfully belongs to India and us. And you are the generation that will see India at 100 turn again into a beacon of the world. We are on a special day. Today, a special event occurs. It is the rites of the passage. In the life of every senior civil servant, it is the ceremony which every civilian officer undergoes in his transition from being a student into a public servant. It is very somber. A young person, all of you are so young, enter the portals of the academy and enter into bonds of relationships with your teachers. It is a lifelong relationship. And I'm honored here that one of my teachers is sitting here, Madam Alka Kulkarni. Today is also a very special day in the life of the academy. It is the day when the director and every trainee enter into a lifelong direct relationship. and it is going to be there. You have, as I would like to say, you have my honor in your palms, because you will all be known, and I will be known by how you turn out. So, it is a direct relationship of mentorship, learning, guidance, and respect. Everyone passes through this. In August 1989, I became a disciple of the legendary director, Sri Yugandhar, and I remain so today. Today is also very special in my own life because I belong to the 54th Foundation course, 1989 54th Foundation course, and you belong to the 96th. Long years have passed. But in the intervening period, I have had the honor of learning and acquiring administrative knowledge, skills, and it is my responsibility today to transfer all of them to you without holding anything back. That is my responsibility. It is my responsibility to prepare you to serve India well. It is my responsibility to prepare you to serve your fellow citizens with empathy, to prepare you to lead a life of integrity, to prepare you to lead a life of dedication, to prepare you to lead a life of anonymity, and to mold all of you into a cohesive, virtuous group of selfless public servants. And in this Herculean tasks, I request the support of Madam JD, the entire course team, and the cooperation of all my fellow faculty. Because they have not only to impart their knowledge, but to lead by example. Because integrity can be taught only by example, not by lectures. I know I have their faith, and together we will leave no stone unturned in achieving this. To do this, I also bow to the memory of the legendary director, my guru, the late Sri Yugandhar, my teachers, the citizens who taught me, and finally, all the social and political leaders who guided my career during the last 32 years. In August this year, hardly 4 months back, when I was posted as director, a very senior, eminent civil servant called me in the morning. He's from the 1967 batch. And he called to bless me. And he said, "You have become our Dharma Guru." These were his words. And it dawned on me that an enormous responsibility was thrust on my shoulders. And conscious of this onerous responsibility, I humbly pray, gathered as we are in the presence of the mighty Himalayas, the pinnacle of our civilization, I now ask all of you to rise so that we may take our oath of office. I will administer it first in Hindi. There is there are two parts to the oath. Usual, Usually it is a choice. You can either say that you swear or you solemnly affirm, but I will go with the swear part. I'm sure all of you won't mind. So when I say may, after that, please say your name aloud. And then, according to your gender, leta hu, leti hu, etc., etc. And then we will repeat the oath of office in English. मैं शपथ ले प्लीज गॉड शपथ लेता हूँ कि मैं भारत तथा विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति वफादार एवं सत्यनिष्ठा रखूंगा। मैं भारत की प्रभुसत्ता एवं अखंडता बनाए रखूंगा तथा अपने पद के कर्तव्यों के निष्ठा, ईमानदारी एवं निष्पक्षता के साथ निभाऊंगा। भगवान मेरी सहायता करे। We will repeat in English. I do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to India and to the Constitution of India as by law established. That I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will carry out the duties of my office loyally, honestly, and with impartiality. So help me God. All of you kindly sign this. So this is your oath of office. You may kindly take your seats. Thank you. With that oath of office, you have just become servants of India. Congratulations. I am sure your parents, your friends, your teachers must be tremendously proud of you today. I think there is some live streaming going on. I hope some of you are watching, some of them are watching you. So, congratulations again. We thought we will help you get a little bit of eyeballs. We are at a special event. Today's ceremony follows the age old Guru Sishya Parampara. We learn life skills, values, and traditions before assuming worldly responsibilities. Similar examples include Plato's Academy, after whom the academy is named. Plato's Republic, as some of you might know, describes how a philosopher king should be trained. And he says that for 57 years, that individual must be trained before he is ready to acquire and enter into office. You will also notice 57 is a very unique number. It is exactly that point in your age when you will, all of you, will start becoming eligible to become or enter into the apex level of your respective services. Don't you think it's extremely prescient that Plato should have written in Republic that it takes 57 years for a public servant to mature? But it also is telling you something else, that all through your careers, all through your lives, you will be learning. And you will be preparing to assume higher responsibilities. And Mission Karmayogi, the visionary program of the Honorable Prime Minister, is built precisely around this principle of self guided lifelong learning. Here, competence is deliberate and not an accident. Ability is a carefully honed skill and not incidental accretion. Excellence is not an aspiration but everyday action. National achievements celebrate democratic administration in motion. These are the pinnacles of administrative ethos, and they are built on our founding values, which are ability, austerity, anonymity. Remember this: ability, austerity, anonymity. The foundational cardinal principles of every good and true public servant of India. Friends, the recorded history of civil service in India goes back to Mauryan times. From the Mauryan administration, different forms emerged, Mansabdari, even the colonial services. But the idea that we need a permanent service, a permanent structure, a permanent bureaucracy to carry out the business of government and state is as old as the idea of India itself. Really goes back to ancient times. But unlike in China, where they have a recorded history of an exam for recruitment to the civil service, we don't have a recorded history of examination having been conducted to recruit civil servants. But it is my own assessment, because our great seats of learning, like Nalanda, have always received Chinese visitors and we have taught them that a form of exam, a form of evaluation, a form of a meritocracy existed even in ancient India. And therefore, when I applaud all of you for your success at the civil service exam, which is, as I said, one of the toughest in the world, I also salute the Indian society and Indian state for building such a strong and inclusive meritocracy. It is not an ordinary thing. And I have no hesitation in asserting that perhaps in no other walk of public life in India, perhaps in no other walk of public life in India, is meritocracy so carefully built, nurtured, and preserved as in the civil and military bureaucracies. Here you are finding your place because because you earned it by the dint of your hard work. And I quote the immortal words of Sardar Patel, the founder of civil services, modern civil services in India, who underscored this principle in 1948. He said, "An all India service, efficient, disciplined, and contented, assured of its prospects as a result of diligent and honest work, is a sine qua non of sound administration under a democratic regime, even more than under an authoritarian rule. The service must be above party, and we should ensure that political considerations, either in its discipline or in its control, are reduced to a minimum, if not eliminated altogether." Unquote. That sense of purpose and awareness of our merit, my friends, must be humble. It must make you aware that we are because the people of India have willed us so. That we are trustees of the wealth of the people and the custodians of their dignity. Please remember this. We are the custodians of their dignity and the trustees of their wealth. During the past few days and the next 2, 3 days, you are participating in a deconstruction exercise. You must have found it slightly novel, different. What does it mean? What is the reason? Why did we craft this in this manner? We wanted you to experience vignettes of life from rural India, from urban India, of experiences from the health system, the education system, of a self employed person seeking employment, so that you understand what it is that they are going through. Before you came here, we have asked you to go and meet all of them, visit a primary health center, visit a primary school, visit a self employed person, and write down your observations in about 150 odd questions. Many of you, in fact, all of you have done so. The reason we have asked you to do this is to enable you to participate and go through a process that we all hope will be cathartic in your lives. Because we want you to recall all your life's experiences of dealing with bureaucracy before you stepped into the portals of the academy. Because in your dealings with the bureaucracy, you will and you might remember moments of extreme satisfaction and extreme frustration. We would like you to recall these memories when they are still fresh. We want you to remember before fading memory or a complacent custom diminishes the fires of your indignation. Please remember it. We want you to memorize these, imbibe them, and when in moments of doubt, and you recall Mahatma Gandhi's words there that are written of the talisman of the last man, these memories should rekindle in you the fires of your thinking and light your pathway. Believe me, this is very, very powerful. Do not please forget it. Remember that you are a citizen first and an officer next. Slowly, over time, this sensitivity may dull. You must guard against it. Remember that trappings of office will soon build barriers that will insulate you from the ticket, get a ration card, get an admission in school. That is the moment when this exercise should remind you of how citizens of this country live their everyday lives. And this 1 week that you are experiencing should become the bedrock of your soul as a public servant of India. This is the essence of what we are trying to do. And this experience should enable you to break the shell that is constantly built around you by circumstances and interest groups. Swami Vivekananda spoke of a book within. He said, there is a book within and there's a book without. He said, it is that book which you must read in order to condition the heart and mind with a sense of virtue and right. Why is this important for a civil servant? No matter your spiritual calling or religious faith, eternal values such as justice will remain true forever. And you, as civil servants, believe me, no matter what service, no matter what position, no matter what rank, no matter where you're posted, you will be placed every day in the position of a judge. You will be judging, you will be assessing, you will be assessing whether something is right or something is wrong. And in that assessment, you should have qualities of head and heart both. In those moments, I ask you to remember the message of Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. They explained something very interesting and very powerful. For me, it's very, very important in my own life. They explained the difference between Shruti and Smriti. They said Shruti are essential spiritual truths which lead man, irrespective of creed and race, to realization in his own life, while Smritis come and go. So Shruti is permanent, Smriti is temporal, it's temporary. Explaining this, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said it so beautifully. And remember, he was still in the colonial period. He said, Mughal coins have no currency in the East India Company rule, which means that a smriti that is sustained and that sustains society in one age may choke in another age. And as socio-economic conditions change, laws and regulations need to be recast and reinterpreted. And they, otherwise, It may result in the strangling of the social organism. So Vivekananda also said something very powerful, which is very important for us. He explained the same thing. He said, another peculiarity is that these Shrutis have many sages as recorders of these eternal truths. Very little is known of their personalities. Nobody knows who wrote them. But their best thoughts and their best discoveries are preserved there. While in the Smritis, personalities are in evidence. And I'm quoting his words. He says, startling, gigantic, impressive, world moving persons. But their constructs, the product of their efforts, is something that is not long lasting, right? So, the real message here for all of us as civil servants is that anonymity as a virtue that is coming out of Shruti is something that we should all imbibe. And that is a great ideal. As civil servants, you will witness change. You're already witnessing it. Last 2 years, 3 years have been tremendously dramatic. You will guide change. You will facilitate change. Some of you may even be the progenitors of change. At that instance, remember Swami Vivekananda and ask yourself, am I working to uphold Shruti the eternal, or am I defending Smriti the temporal? This is something you should carry in your hearts. The world is witnessing uncertainty of epic proportions. I have written to you earlier about how the nature of work, worker, workplace is undergoing tremendous changes. We will discuss all of this in the next 15 weeks. Hopefully, we will together co create and create and understand and comprehend how to harness them for public good and national good. But even as we do so, I will not be wrong in saying that one foundational value, one foundational element that will help you is discipline. On the 4th of December, I hope most of you were here and you witnessed the narrative of the Antarctica expedition and the summiting of the 7 summits by 2 of our senior colleagues. All of you will realize and you would have noticed what led to success in both these huge endeavors was personal discipline and organizational discipline. Because without these two, none of those two adventures or activities or experiences could have ever happened, or if anyone had ever gone there, they would certainly not have come back successful. Self discipline and organizational discipline. Swami Vivekananda called it Shraddha. And I quote, what makes the difference between man and man is the difference in the Shraddha and nothing else. What makes one man great and another man weak and low is the Shraddha. This Shraddha must enter in you. Whatever of material power you see manifested by the Western races is the outcome of this Shraddha, because they believe in their muscles. And if you believe in your spirit, and how much more will it work? Therefore, this Shraddha is what I want, and what all of us here want. This faith in ourselves, and before you is the great task to get that faith. Give up that awful disease that is creeping into our national blood, that idea of ridiculing everything, that loss of seriousness. Give that up. Be strong and have the Shraddha, and everything else is bound to follow. Unquote. This is an eternal message towards the building of organizational and individual discipline of Swami Vivekananda. In your lives and careers, my friends, there will be 3 stages. You will undergo 3 stages, all of you. The first And the foremost you should remember is no matter what stage you are in, the spirit of the Constitution of India and the preamble we have just undertaken an oath to uphold it must permeate your action in each of these three stages of your lives. The first 10 years of your career will be spent closest to the citizens. That is the point where you're in what we call the field. You're interacting with the citizens every day. Small, you might think that the person's uh, difficulty is very small, but nothing is very small. And in this phase of your life, your focus and energy must be on delivery of justice. And here is a very important principle. Please remember that justice is felt at the level of man, at the level of individual. It is not an abstraction. It cannot be reduced into statistics. Please do not allow yourself to be fooled by any statistical jugglery. In this phase of your life, you must remember it is man who feels pain, and justice must result in the wiping of every tear. And you must strive to deliver justice in every step, every action. And since this is also the time of your youth, harness your vitality for public good. Remember, and here is another very powerful message that is coming out of your deconstruction exercise. We met this extraordinarily redoubtable couple, Chandana and Meghraj, right? All of you have interacted with them. Please ask yourselves, will your lives follow the same pathway as theirs, or vice versa? Will their lives follow the same pathway as yours? If not, then why not? Please remember that the generation that you were born into cannot be the left behind generation. There cannot be a greater shame than this upon all of us. You must think, what can I do to carry my entire generation along so that all of us will grow and prosper in a very similar manner, and all of us will find ourselves at whatever pinnacles we reach. Do not turn back at the end of your life 30 years later and say, oh my God, I am here. What did I leave behind? In the second 10 years of your life, you will use the experience of the first 10 to design and build programs, policies to ensure equality and equity. The first 10, I said justice. Please remember. The next 10, equality and equity. Because that is where all your learning from the field, your experiences will come back. Please use your experience to build inclusive, empathetic, and well targeted programs. Your middle age in career will give you a sense of stable and equanimous attitude, and it will lead you to the pinnacles of the last 10 years. In the last stage of your life, while you will continue to emphasize justice, you'll continue to emphasize equity and equality, you will have to bring in the spirit of fraternity. And that is the bedrock of desoilization that the Honorable Prime Minister exhorts us towards. That will give you the ability to work in multidisciplinary teams, address multi-sectoral challenges, and build a shared vision towards achieving national goals. This is the ultimate goal of Mission Karma Yogi. Your growth will occur when you acquire all of these skills, and you should be aware not only in national interest but in enlightened self-interest, that it is only when you learn all these skills that you will grow too. I also ask you to remember that public service is not the monopoly of the civil service. Please remember, public service is not the monopoly of the civil service or even of government. And that is the spirit of Sabka Prayas. You have had extraordinary interactions with our guests today here and during the past few days in the academy. Popatrao Bawarji, Patkalji, Madan Padikiji, his entire team, large number of people who are coming. And this is where we are experiencing the power of collectivity, the collector of power of collaboration, the power of partnership, that it is together that we can achieve great heights of national achievement. Friends, on the Good Governance Day, 25th of this month, you will also be interacting with a large number of Padma awardees, many of whom our joint director referred to. They are people of extraordinary achievement. They have worked miracles in many sectors of national life. I ask you to learn from them. And in learning from them, there is a small story of Vivekananda interacting with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa when he was writing his law exams. So it appears that he was slightly distracted, and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa asked Vivekananda, he said, why aren't you studying for the exams? He said, Master, I wish there was a medicine that I could eat which will make me forget everything that I know. I would like all of you to go into that state. Please forget what you know and go and sit at the feet of these masters and learn and acquire. That is your purpose, because you never again in your life you will get an opportunity of learning in such a humble way. Please utilize it to the fullest extent possible. And remember that as senior civil servants, you also have a duty towards the larger idea of nationhood. Sardar Patel, when he designed the civil services, he designed them to be bulwarks. And I quote from an extraordinary article that was written by L.P. Singh, a very eminent officer of the ICS. And I quote from him. He said, Sardar Patel was convinced that All India services for general and law and order administration would be valuable adjuncts of a strong constitutional authority at the center, which, however, was to be consistent with the federalism of our constitution, of which he was one of the main architects. Unquote. All India services here mean and refer to all services. And while we reflect on these words, I also invite you to remember the poignant words of the Honorable Prime Minister during his visit to the Academy on 26th and 27th of October 2017. He said, कुछ बनना चाहोगे तो निराश हो जाओगे. कुछ बनना चाहोगे तो निराश हो जाओगे. कुछ करना चाहोगे तो कभी निराश नहीं होगे. If you aspire for rewards, you will be disappointed. However, you will always be fulfilled if you aspire to serve. Remember that you have been recruited to be leaders. I have called you, and you are known as civil servants, but you have been recruited to be leaders of your own organizations. You should know that your predecessors have served the nation well, and so must you. You are not mere paper pushers. You are destined to be decision makers. Equip yourself, build yourself, prepare for leadership, and finally, maintain financial and intellectual integrity. I repeat, please maintain financial and intellectual integrity. You must keep the faith that our citizens have placed in us. There can be no greater loss of faith than the ugly sight of a corrupt public servant. I close with a recitation of the Shanti Mantra. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, which means may there be well being in all. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, may there be peace in all. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, may there be fulfillment in all. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, may there be auspiciousness in all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I wish you all the very best in your lives and your careers. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you for that inspiring message, sir. The way you have celebrated the history and heritage of this August Academy, the path walked by legends, the sheer magic and majesty of the Himalayas, you have showcased that one can draw inspiration from every particle of this environment. Your address was a breathing testimony to your passion for this esteemed academy and your faith in what it can do. We feel humbled by your faith in us and assure you that we will strive to live by the ideals of ability, austerity, and anonymity in the service of the nation. Am I defending Shruti, the eternal, or am I defending Smriti, the temporal? Is a key that can guide us irrespective of which of the three stages we are in during our journeys as civil servants. Thank you again, sir. और अब धन्यवाद ज्ञापन देने हेतु मैं आमंत्रित करती हूँ श्री नितेश झा, सह पाठ्यक्रम समन्वयक को। इसके बाद हम सब राष्ट्रगान के लिए अपनी जगह पर खड़े हो जाएंगे एवं राष्ट्रगान के बाद इंडिया एट 75 के रूप में ह्यूमन चेन बनाएंगे। धन्यवाद।
Dhanyavad Anupam. Namaskar everyone. It is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks to all the dignitaries who have made it convenient to attend the inaugural function of the 96 Foundation course, which is happening in the polo ground of the Academy, and also acknowledge the contribution of those who worked hard to make this course and today's inaugural function possible. आज के समारोह के मुख्य अतिथि परम आदरणीय निदेशक महोदय श्री श्रीनिवास आर कतिकताला जी, संयुक्त निदेशक श्रीमती राधिका रस्तोगी जी, फर्स्ट लेडी ऑफ द एकेडमी श्रीमती बिंदु कटिकताला जी, उपनिदेशक वरिष्ठ एवं कोर्स कोऑर्डिनेटर श्रीमती मोनिका धामी मैडम, कोर्स टीम के सदस्य, संकाय सदस्य, एकेडमी के एस्टीम्ड गेस्ट्स, 96 फाउंडेशन कोर्स के सभी प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी एवं अकादमी परिवार के समस्त साथियों, सबसे पहले मैं 96 फाउंडेशन कोर्स के सभी प्रतिभागियों को यूपीएससी द्वारा आयोजित परीक्षा उत्तीर्ण करने एवं इस गरिमामयी यात्रा की शुरुआत करने के लिए हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं। मैं रॉयल भूटान सिविल सर्विसेज के अधिकारियों को भी बधाई देता हूं। आप सभी को बहुत बहुत बधाई एवं शुभकामनाएं। मैं आज के कार्यक्रम के मुख्य अतिथि निदेशक महोदय का हार्दिक आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, जिन्होंने अपने अत्यंत प्रेरणादायक विचारों से हमें अवगत कराया। Sir advised all of us to follow the path taken by Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Patel and serve our motherland in such a way that when she turns 100, she will again be at the top of the world. Sir also asked us to always remember that we are citizens first and an officer next. सर, मुझे आशा नहीं बल्कि पूर्ण विश्वास है कि आप प्रकाश पुंज की तरह हर अवसर पर कोर्स टीम के सदस्यों तथा प्रशिक्षु अधिकारियों का मार्गदर्शन करेंगे। सर, हमारा मनोबल बढ़ाने के लिए और हमें प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत आभार। मैं संयुक्त निदेशक महोदया का भी हार्दिक आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि आपने अपने विचारों से हमें प्रोत्साहित किया और आगे भी इस कोर्स के दौरान आपका मार्गदर्शन हमें इसी तरह मिलता रहेगा। मैं फर्स्ट लेडी ऑफ द एकेडमी श्रीमती बिद्दू कतिकाताला जी का भी आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। A special thanks to Ms. Monica Dhami, the course coordinator, who has meticulously put together the course content for the 96 Foundation course. Thank you to the course team, Dr. Milind Ramteke, Sri Abhiram Ji Sankar, Ms. Sunita Rani, Sri Hari Prakash, Dr. Anupam Talwar, and the entire training induction team for organizing today's inaugural function in Polo Ground. Thank you to the faculty for your inputs, encouragement, and guidance to the course team. Thanks also to the esteemed guests of the Academy. We also sincerely acknowledge with gratitude the help and support of the choir team, ENC section, IT team, states and CPWD, officers mess, protocol, our medical center, the fitness experts, and all other sections that have made organization of this program possible. I must also acknowledge the constant support which each one of us got from our families when all of us were busy putting this course together. आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अंत में मैं प्रशिक्षु अधिकारियों का तहे दिल से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। हमारे स्वतंत्रता के 75वें वर्ष में आप सभी को राष्ट्र के सेवा करने का और समर्पित होने का अवसर मिला है। अकादमी का पूरा विश्वास है कि आप सभी हमारे राष्ट्र निर्माताओं अकादमी का पूरा विश्वास है कि आप सभी हमारे राष्ट्र निर्माताओं की हर कसौटी पर खरे उतरेंगे और राष्ट्र की उन्नति में अपना अमूल्य योगदान देंगे। आपकी ट्रेनिंग के लिए पूरी अकादमी परिवार की ओर से शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। एक बार पुनः आप सबों को धन्यवाद। मैं बलजीत जी का भी बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। नाउ आई रिक्वेस्ट ऑल ऑफ यू टू प्लीज राइज फॉर द नेशनल एंथम। नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा, उच्चर जलधि तरंगा। तब शुभ नामे जागे, तब शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाए तब जय गाथा। जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे। I now request you to kindly join for the making of human chain of India at 75.
We were thanking Baljit ji because he's just been transferred. Baljit ji, आप इस तरफ पधारे साहब। Baljit ji is the riding instructor. He's just been transferred. So he's been with us and gave us yeoman service. Thank you once again.